Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. What we've seen is a very sharp up move on the index today. It's turned out to be a very good day of trade, and a lot of strength has come specifically in the last 2 hours of trade. As you can see, the Nifty is back above the mark of 11,700, 1.3% gains coming in. Ultratech Cement right at the top, up 4.7%, followed by BPCL, HCL Technologies and ONGC. We have good gains in Indian Oil Corp as well. And on the losing end, we have just Tata Motors, which is down by around 3.5%. But if you leave that aside, we haven't seen too much weakness across. The advanced decline ratio has turned positive, 3 gainers for 2 losers, and Nippon Life Sciences, Bank of Maharashtra, Indico Remedies, and Indiabulls Housing Real Estate, Indiabulls Real Estate up and about. Several other stocks like CG Power, Infibeam, Avenues, Radico Khaitan, all advancing with good momentum too. On the losing end, Sterlite Technology is down 7% after its earnings coming through, as is the case for Hexaware Technologies too. The earnings were largely in line, perhaps a little bit of a miss when it comes to operations, but it still took a knock of around 4%. Gayatri Projects, JK Lakshmi, Tata Motors, of course in the large cap space. Vakrangi is also now down by as much as 3%. But on that note, let me get in Yatin Mota for his thoughts and a perspective in the markets. Yatin, what are your observations? A little bit of a reversal from what we've seen earlier in the week.
Yeah, earlier in the week, and more importantly, Agam, yesterday there was some weakness. Today morning, till lunch, we were about 1:1 on advanced decline on the Nifty 50 stocks, which reversed to 4:1. So, 25 stocks declining, 25 stocks gaining in the afternoon during lunch, which reversed to 42 stocks, gaining and 8 declining. So, a significant amount of improvement in market breadth after, 1:30. Good buying seen in, most of these PSU stocks, which were not doing well. HPCL, BPCL, IOC, ONGC, all of these stocks contributed to the Nifty gain. More importantly, we had Ultratech Cement, which came out with earnings. They showed a very fantastic set of earnings, especially on the operating front versus the street expectations. That stock ended at the day's high, closing by about 5% higher in trade. Mid caps also, as Agam was mentioning, the entire ADG group, Reliance Nippon, Indiabulls Real Estate, Reliance Capital, Group Finance, Radico, all of these stocks had gained momentum. So it's not only the large cap end of the market, but also select mid cap showing action. And on an overall basis, it was a day of good volumes. Of course, what did not do well is the entire auto pack. Tata Motors, Hero MotoCorp, Maruti Suzuki, all of these stocks were among the top losers on the Nifty. Remember, tomorrow Maruti comes out with the quarterly earnings. Within week's time, we have Hero MotoCorp also, which will report earnings. So it's a whole host of auto earnings to follow this week. Maruti will report earnings. The margin performance is something important that we'll be watching out for. The stock, however, is quite nervous ahead of the earnings. Let's see how really Maruti delivers their quarterly performance for tomorrow.
Right, fair enough, Yatin. Thanks for joining us and giving us a perspective. So as Yatin has mentioned, a bunch of big earnings coming through, especially from the Nifty pack. So we'll be watching out for that. I personally want to mention one area which has seen us strength, as I was suggesting that we've seen strength in, Ultratech Cement. As you can see, it's ended the day with gains of as much as 4.5%. What we've also seen is gains in ACC today, after a lot of weakness coming through yesterday on account of weak earnings. Ultratech Cement has shown steady earnings, and because of which we've seen gains coming through, up 4.5%, and that has also taken ACC along with it. So gains seen in both these companies, and we'll continue to track more developments out there as well. But moving on to 2 other stocks that we want to address. First one is, of course, Sterlite Technologies, which has taken quite a tumble, and let me get in Sharad Dubey to talk to us about that, as well as a bunch of other companies.
Well, Agam, Sterlite Tech came out with a good set of numbers yesterday post-market hours, and the revenues were almost doubled up to almost 1719 odd crores. But basically this increase in the top line has happened because of the ahead of scheduled Navy order which has come in, and apart from this, the brokerage also expect the turnover from the services segment to reach almost 50%. Now you see today's daily chart, we expected a lot of the stock was increasing over the last 2 sessions, and we saw profit booking going ahead and falling at around 193 odd rupees. Apart from this, the company has also, on a consolidated basis, on a full yearly annual basis, the company has been performing with various good parameters and also having a higher ROC. And the second stock I would like to talk about is Dhunseri Tea, where the stock had hit the upper circuit of 20% odd. This is basically based on the news that Tata Global Beverages has signed a non-binding term sheet to acquire two businesses of the company, namely Lal Ghoda and Kala Ghoda brands, which is having a market share in Rajasthan, and the stock went up almost 20% odd. So this proposed acquisition is actually having a couple of due diligence is still left. So Agam, these two stocks were really, on the fray today, and we can see as the Dhunseri Tea have gone up almost 20% after this.
Yeah.
So the company is having a market cap of around 192 odd crore rupees. So Agam, there will be an interesting play going around in the tea industry as a lot of acquisitions are happening.
Right, fair enough. Of course, that's locked in an upper circuit for the most of the day. It did come off ever so slightly, but it's still up as much as 20%. Sharad, thank you for joining us and taking us through those details. So those are some of the other stocks that we need to keep an eye on. But I reckon tomorrow we will move in with some very big earnings from the banking sector as well as the auto sector, and that should chart how things could pan out as far as markets are concerned. And on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but lost my lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg.